Okay. Late night sushi. Late night sushi cravings. Yeah.
And they have this fish. It's free. It's great. No, you said it's six, so that's 12, right? Oh yeah. So I'll just like take notes of it. Which are you going with? Pasta. Chopsticks. Yeah, but for some reason it keeps failing me to like
Hi, it's currently 6:26 and I'm considering starting a reading vlog from 6:30. I had a free day today, but I realized that I was struggling to read. I've read for maybe 30 minutes in total today, which is something, but not as much as I wanted to in my aim to utilize today for reading. So I want to try to see if I can get a couple hours of reading before going to bed. I'm not going to do a timer or anything like that. I want to have dinner, which, full disclosure, is the earliest dinner that I've had this week. I'm going to read and eat. I'll be listening to the audiobook of Intermezzo while reading the ebook on my Kindle. I don't know if I'm the only one that has this opinion. I know a lot of people say they don't like Peter's POV. At least that's the most common consensus I've seen. I do think both brothers in their own light experience sentimentality. That's one similarity they both share but don't realize. Each one has a presumption of the other that is very far from reality. I'm really enjoying this so far because it truly captures the essence of human relationship. And although this is my second Sally Rooney book, I can say that this is very particular to her writing, where she's able to capture so softly the human emotion and the fragility of human relationships. I sincerely just have a lot of thoughts about this book. I'm already writing my review, even though I'm only about 25 or maybe 27% through the book, but I just have a lot to say. I'll save my thoughts for my review, but then I just want to pen it down so that nothing gets lost in time and I don't forget the feelings and the weight of these pages that I'm consuming. Even though I do think in the past hour plus I've read this at a very fast pace, it doesn't even feel like it. It feels like a steady walk through the pages. I love that the book makes me feel that way. It doesn't matter how fast I go through the pages, there's always a slowness that surrounds Sally Rooney's writing. Oh, that's a good one. On the surface, we're made to believe or we're made to see through the intentionality of Rooney's writing that these two characters, these brothers, are different, which they are. They do have a unique voice, and yes, truly they are different. However, I can still observe that there's a thread connecting them. It ties them together in such a way that I can see that truly they are brothers and that the same desires and the same fears exist in them both the same way in their different worlds. Too soon to give praises to the writing, but so far I like it so much and I'm actually pulled to want to read it more, which is good. That's not. Tell me why I forgot to put on sunscreen before putting on my blush. I finished my makeup and I just realized I haven't put sunscreen on. I should try to have tea before I go, and since the weather is a bit cold, when I have it to go, I'll just probably take it with me. Recently got this perfume. I've gotten a lot of perfumes recently, if I'm being honest, and I went to Sephora to try another perfume that I wanted to get, and then I was just like, let me smell this, because I thought I hadn't heard about it before, but then eventually I realized that I had heard about it and I had seen it on TikTok. Do you see how long it is? It's like a dress. And so I was thinking of like doing a fully buttoned look and then tucking this part rather than having it open. These shoes though, so that's why I'm sort of considering keeping it open so that you can get the burgundy vibes. But then I'll never be one of those people who wears what's it called? Shoes or sneakers specifically, or trainers, I don't know, without socks. I sweat a lot on my feet, so me doing that is a big risk for the longevity of my shoes. I don't know if this is good or not. Do I fold both? The freak? I'm too lazy to go get my mic. Ooh. Close your eyes, bruh. But this is my outfit for today. So I'm doing all black today because why not? Fall has officially started and I think I'm going to be leaning towards darker colors. I really don't know why police sirens decide to go off whenever I try to record, but it's getting too annoying. Are they tracking me? I don't know. I think I'm going to start leaning towards darker colors because it's a fall, my first fall. I used to wonder why people in the West would always dress in accordance to seasons. But now I think I understand it. It's a vibe. It's just the mood, you know. Regardless of where you are, to an extent, the weather determines how you dress, whether you wear a lot of layers, whether you wear long or short clothes. So why wouldn't it determine the colors as well? I'm still going to wear whatever I want, because I won't throw out my clothes just because it's not summer anymore. I'm just going to learn to style them differently, and on days where I feel more pulled to darker colors, I will lean into it to the best of my abilities. I got recently, I happened to see a couple videos about it on TikTok. It's not so popular now, but I know it was really popular a couple years ago, and like a lot of things I do, I never get with the program until after the hype dies down, because then I want to be sure that I'm objectively making this choice for myself and not just to fit mainstream. I just like to make sure my choices are my choices and I'm not being pressured because of ongoing popularity, if that makes sense. Because these things cost money. So if I'm going to spend my money, I have to be very sure that I'm spending it because I really want it, you know? And then the second perfume, which I recently just got when I got the Henry Rose perfume that I showed yesterday, is Black Opium Over Red. I have used the original Black Opium. I used it back in uni and I loved it so much. So I've been wanting to get it, but I've been a bit skeptical because I felt it was too intense to use in the summer. It feels more like a colder weather scent. And so I went to the store to smell it. And then I smelled this one, and I also smelled the Le Parfum. I love this more, which is quite ironic because I searched the notes, and even from the color, you would figure that it is a scent that has cherry in it. And I'm not a fan of cherry fragrances. I don't know, not because I don't want to like them, but there's always this harsh, not harsh, but I don't know, it feels like the scent scratches my nose. That's the best way to explain it. The scent might be good in itself, but there's just this tinge of a harsh smell that just like scratches my nose that I find uncomfortable. And at the store, I didn't get that with the one I smelled. But when I finally made the decision and bought it and got home, I realized that it was doing that. So I'm still torn whether I want to keep it or whether I want to return it and pick up the original or the Le Parfum version, or if I just want to stick with this one and then let her sit and macerate for a while to see if that feeling is going to stop. Because I feel the reason I didn't smell that in the store is because a lot of their samples have been sprayed and they've had time to mature and just become a lot deeper. So I'm like, do I do that as well? But I'll just sit on it and see if I like it. I might go over with the Kayali Vanilla 28. So I got the travel size because of a friend. We spent a couple of days together and I told her she smelled good and asked her what perfume she used, and she showed me she had the big size bottle and she's had hers for over a year, so it has had more time to evolve and mature compared to mine. Fortunately for me, I did get mine a darker color, and they say the darker it is, you know, the darker the berry, the sweeter the juice. Yeah, so the darker it is, the sweeter or more potent the smell is. My friend's was way darker, so when I smelt it, it smelled so good. There's no such thing as too much perfume. So yeah, I think I'm running a bit late, and it's time for me to go. Hi. Um, I'm in the process of taking my nails off. One fell last night and I had like two others or three others. Yeah, three others that were a bit shaky. And so I took those off and one extra one. These ones are a bit loose, but not very much so. So I don't want to force it off. And I'm just too tired to like do the process of soaking my hands in hot water and getting them loose. You know, the usual process of taking the nails off. I don't also have a dissolver, so I'm just gonna wait. Probably will soak them. I have 5 left. We'll soak them in water this evening, loosen them up and take them off. Those are very weak. I mean very, very weak. Like I can't take off. You know how people take off their nails and you know you see the long pretty nails underneath? There's no time that I've taken off
nails, no matter how gentle the process is, that I don't have a good chunk of my nails break with the fake nails. So yeah, I usually like to give it a couple weeks to breathe and strengthen itself back. Also, I'm a bit sick. Yay! This has been my trusted companion. This too. And this, a nasal inhaler. Yay. I don't know, I think you can probably see it. Whenever I'm sick, I think the one telltale sign are my eyes, actually. Especially this one. Because when I'm sick, I always cry. Not because I want to cry, but naturally my eyes just get very teary. And it's a bit embarrassing because I might be looking okay and I'll be having, okay, this happened to me on my way back from work. I was on the bus and then this lady sits beside me and she's trying to have a conversation with me, but then my nose blocked, my eyes are tearing up, and I'm literally like cleaning tears from my eyes, struggling to breathe, and she's like talking to me. And honestly, I felt bad because I really wasn't engaged. Like, yeah, I know I was tired from work and whatnot, but honestly, if someone who seems cool or nice talks to me, no matter how awkward I might feel, I do think the older I get, the better I am. The better I am at putting aside that awkwardness and being able to talk to people that I don't know. I may not initiate the conversation, but if they start conversations with me, you know, I can carry it on. I can carry it on. And but then I just think, oh my god, what was that? Pardon my voice. But that particular one, I was so out of it because she was talking to me, and then I had like all this stuff, I was in my bags and stuff, and then I was like and then I was like dabbing, and then I was reaching to my bag to get more tissues, and I didn't want to blow my nose at that point because there were a lot of people. It was, I don't know, it wasn't rush hour, but then the bus was really packed, and so like I didn't want to now, like I didn't want to you know, right there and then. And so I was just like trying to breathe. I was trying to stay alive and at the same time listen to her and whatnot. And I think at a point she just gave up because probably she thought I was not open to talking with her. So the kind lady I saw on the bus, I don't think you're ever going to see this, but I promise I was fighting for my life. Literally. I did compliment her on her shoes. It was really nice. It's leopard print. It looks like a pair of loafers that I have. Hold on a second. This is it. So I actually did thrift it. It was a new pair that I saw at the thrift store, and it was from Zara. Still had a tag and everything times. But yeah, so she had something like this on. I don't think it was Zara, but like it was leopard print and also had like this material, I don't know what it's called, hide. It's just, I don't know if I really don't know what this material is called, but hers was a heel, a block heel, and I think it was a slightly brownish color or had like a brownish orange tone, quite different from mine, and it was really pretty. And she told me she thrifted hers, which I thought was cool, and I wish I was wearing mine. For the past week plus, I've really not been able to read much. I've only read 2 books, or should I say 1.5 books this month. One being a rollover from August, that is Free Day by Ines Cagnati, and another being a very short story by F. Scott Fitzgerald. Is that his name? the guy who wrote Great Gatsby. I forgot the name of the book, but then it's like a short 2-in-1 story that I read and I enjoyed that. I love the use of symbolism in it, and I can't wait to do a review for that one. And then for Free Day, honestly, that book reminded me of The Unpassing by Chia Chia Lin, and I absolutely enjoyed it. I did take my sweet time, and honestly, I had to take breaks because it wasn't like a lot of sad things happened back to back. I've not read A Little Life, right? But I think that's the only book I can think to make this point with. It's not like that where there's a lot of sad events happening back to back. But this book, Free Day, I mean, the way the book was written, I don't know, it's just a very soft but hitting portrayal of melancholy. The prose is not doing too much. It doesn't try to be flowery. It doesn't try to push in quotes every now and then, you know, to sound profound. It's just literally, you know, presented through the thought of a 14-year-old girl. And you just get to see how sadness peeks through in her perspective, in her mind, in her everyday life. And it's just a lot. And frankly, this book is another interesting part of this is that this book takes place within the space of 24 hours or thereabouts, just a day or a day plus or a day and some, right? And in that time, it's able to have such a grip on you. You're able to sense the weight of sadness that exists in this child's life, even though you're not quite sure if your assumptions or your suspicions are correct. You can still feel that there's something horribly wrong, and you feel for her or you fear for her finding out about that sad reality or that thing that is looming in the distance. And yeah, honestly, if you're somebody who likes sad books and if you don't mind, I would say it's a slow book. Honestly, I think it's a slow book. It's a short one, but somehow it manages to be a slow book. So if you're somebody who likes books like that, you're going to enjoy it. Wow. I had this bright idea to do a Sunday reset today because it's Sunday and it's currently 8. Gosh, I'm so tired. Anyway, I had this bright idea to do a Sunday reset, but I'm too exhausted. I'm still very much under the weather, which isn't even cold, so I don't know why I have a cold that's making me this tired. Well, I'm not tired. I'm just lazy. I think that's like side effect because usually whenever I'm on medication, I think regardless of what medication I'm on, I just get to feel really tired. And all I want to do is lie down and sleep. I want to be horizontal, not vertical. Which is which? I always forget, bro. You know, I just don't want to be upstanding. You know, I want to be lazy. And I have a free day tomorrow. I did have things that I wanted to do tomorrow, thinking that I would feel a lot better today. But frankly, I think everything's just going to have to hold up till later in the week. I'm just going to rest tomorrow because I absolutely need it. I took out the other nails, so we have just this one. Oh, sorry. They're all gone. So it's just this stubborn guy. As I was saying, I'm going to shoot a reset later in the week. So today, right now, I want to start a new book. I'm going to be using an audiobook with this so that I can focus. I was going to be over ambitious and say that I would finish it this evening, but I can't because I'm already very sleepy. I'm already very drowsy, but I don't want to scroll on my phone before bed. I want to try to read. And so this is what I'm going to read, and I want to push myself to finish it tomorrow, since I'm pretty much going to have a lazy day tomorrow. God, I feel like my brain is swimming. I don't know how to explain it. You know what? I'm just going to stop here.